Hey, hey, you guys can type whatever you want. First time doing one of these, so good. How are you? Hey, Gennaro. Hey, Asher. Thanks for stopping in. Uh, who am I? I don't. I have two this week so far, but um, I'd have to double check. They're not like huge names or anything. I actually have one. I was supposed to have one at 3 today, but they just asked to push it back until later tonight, which is fine, I guess. Kind of annoying. Yeah, I can't see who specifically is in here, but the chat comes up live. So, thanks, Moronic. Robbie Damon, I mean, yeah, I would like to interview him, but I'm not, I don't know, I'm not like a super huge fan of anything personally that he's been in besides the Sailor Moon redub and Persona 5. He doesn't really seem to do independent interviews anyway. So, thanks. That's really flattering. It started, I've told this story before, but um, for people who are here that don't know, I just I virtually met Eric Vale via GalaxyCon in around this time in 2020, and then after that, I just realized that a lot of the voice actors that I liked the most, I hadn't really seen them talk about the roles that I knew I liked them the most for. So I just thought, hey, I can try to start doing this without having to pay for it. And fortunately, it worked out. So I've never had to pay for any of them, and I don't plan to. And I would recommend anybody who wants to start doing this, don't pay for interviews. Unless you want to, but I don't really know why you would want to. Because that just brings like a sense of artificialness to it. Like the person doesn't really want to be there, even if they act all nice. far. Hobbies. Um, oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, Terrence is really fun. He's really, really cool, really funny, really underrated. Hobbies. Well, I have a lot, but my main one besides this is collecting production art and animation production art, like cells and stuff for anime back when they still created anime that way in the 90s and before that. They stopped around the time that Inuyasha went into the 100th episodes. Um, so yeah, that's my main hobby is production art from older anime. And for those who don't know, the way that all anime back then was created, they had to hand paint every frame and hand draw every frame, and then they were animated in like a flip book style way. So yeah, everything in Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Evangelion, most of Inuyasha, the old Hunter x Hunter, all those series, they were all hand drawn and hand painted. And then when the animation studios were done with it, they either unfortunately threw a lot of it away or they just gave it away to I don't know other people that worked on it, and then they sold it to whoever. And yeah, that's been my main hobby since I was pretty young. But I didn't get serious about it until I was old enough to have more of a income, obviously. How did I set up my questions? I don't know. It didn't really come from anything. Just some of my signature ones naturally developed. I guess I didn't really base it off of anything. Yeah, I love Fushigi Yugi. Bridget Hoffman is definitely not just because of that, but yeah, she's one of my favorite people I've interviewed so far. I wish that she still did anime because she's just amazing and so nice and super talented. Um, yeah, I'm hoping I can get more main cast members from Fushigi Yugi that I haven't done yet, like David Hayter and of course Mary Elizabeth McGlynn and Darren Norris, people like that. And even though it's kind of hard for me to like watch it now, uh, having Wendy Lee be my first big LA voice actor interview, I mean that was an incredible opportunity. And then to talk to her for 2 hours, it was she like never said anything about it. She was like, "Oh, I have to go." It just naturally went that long. So yeah, that was amazing. Hey, Chris. Uh, I think the only thing that I'm like actively watching right now is the second season of Comey Can't Communicate. Um, Before that, it was the latest season of Demon Slayer, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, my favorite English dub. Yeah, Fate Zero is really good. That's super well done, well acted. Fire Emblem has great people in it too. Uh, I don't know. Ranma One Half. That's probably my single favorite dub. even though it's a comedic show. Uh, that's probably my single favorite dub. A more dramatic series for a favorite dub, I don't know. I guess Fate Zero and the Fate Heavens Feel movies are really well done. Yeah, yeah. Bridget's been doing anime since like the early or mid '90s, but she's probably best known for being in Fushigi Yugi and Perfect Blue and Ray Earth. Yeah, and she does play um Kanai in Demon Slayer, and Rui. She also played Rui's mom, and she probably wouldn't have even been brought in for that unless like if Steve Staley wasn't the director, since Bridget got Steve into anime dubbing, because Steve's first anime role was Fushigi Yugi, so they've been friends for obviously like 20 plus years. Hey, Sammy. Yeah, it's kind of shitty out, so this is a good time to do this. I don't have anything going on anyway. I guess I can ask you guys what are some of the um, favorite interviews that I've done, because I'm sure your answers might be different than mine. Yeah, yeah. I told this earlier, and I've told it before, but it just started from meeting Eric Vale via GalaxyCon 2 years ago, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to do this without paying for it with people that I really like. That's how it started. The short answer. How much research goes into it? Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I have to dig pretty hard and like listen through, you know, most of a podcast with someone to get something that'll to get a piece of information about them that'll really throw them off, but it just depends on the person, but it's almost always worth it to get that really funny reaction of like, "Oh, I don't remember saying that," whatever. Yeah, I love Kenshin. That's probably my single favorite anime. And I haven't seen all of Buso Rankin, but I remember when it was released here, like when it was first released here in the US. And I did bring up Buso Rankin with Steve, and I brought it up with Tara Platt and Spike Spencer too. Yeah, I know I don't know, some people really don't like the Dynasty and Samurai Warriors games because they're just really repetitive, but I've always I've always loved them. I still have my copy of Samurai Warriors that my mom got me brand new from Sears when I was in elementary school. And I've maxed out almost every character, and yeah. Yeah, for sure. I used to play the Dynasty Warriors games, well, both Samurai and Dynasty Warriors with, friends that weren't even into anime or anime games, and it was always really fun. I still have my PS2. I just don't. I'm not into games anymore. Like I still have all my memory card data from certain games on my memory cards, but I just don't. spend money on that. Yeah, Wayne was. It was really cool to get Wayne. I didn't expect it at all because I he was initially he was initially bothered that I contacted him, but because he's really private. But fortunately, he agreed to it. Warriors Orochi, yeah, I've owned a couple of them before. Yeah, I've seen Durarara. That was Namie is one of her favorite roles, and she did a really good job. That's obviously kind of unlike a lot of stuff that she's known for. Favorite Kenshin theme song or piece of music? Fourth Avenue Cafe is probably my favorite song too. It sucks that it was only used for a few episodes because of the Liark and CL drummer arrest. But I mean, the ending animation specifically made for that song is phenomenal too. But yeah, it sucks because of the circumstance that it wasn't used. But I mean, pretty much all of the theme songs for Kenshin are great. I don't really like the second opening. It's kind of annoying, but overall, yeah, they're fine. They're all good. Yes. I can't. I mean, it's not a single game, but Shadow Hearts Covenant and Xenosaga Episode 3. Those are my favorite games. Shadow Hearts and Xenosaga franchises in general are incredible. They need to be remastered and re-released so more people can afford them and more people can play them. Matt Charles. I don't know who that is without looking it up. A single favorite anime opening? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I could pick a single one. Yeah, I did try reaching out to Michael Deek, but his email that was associated with IMDb is no longer accurate. So, um, I don't know who I would like to interview who doesn't have any like public contact info anywhere, and that like someone who doesn't really even do voice acting anymore. I don't know. I guess maybe Monica Story, who was Kagome in the original Inuyasha dub, and Willow Johnson, who was Kikyo and Kasumi in Ranma. Those are some examples that would be high on my list in that specific category. I don't really count Brienne at all because uh, I have her and her husband's number, and I've been in contact with both of them for like 2 years now. I don't know when it'll happen, but it'll happen eventually. Interviewing her, I mean, Hi, other Christopher. Oh, and Mark Derison would be phenomenal because he's never done an interview. He's done one in a magazine like 20 years ago when Berserk first came out. But that's it. Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Dan would be really fun. I don't really know how people get a hold of him for like I know that he does Galaxy Con and stuff and he still does cons here and there, but he doesn't really have any like I mean, he has a fan page on Facebook that's official, but he doesn't really use it anymore. And that's not his real name, obviously, but I don't know. I could probably ask somebody who I've interviewed who's like still based in New York that I'm sure has his email, like Bill Timoney or I don't know, Deborah Rabbi, somebody like that. Most of the time it's pretty straightforward getting interviews, but sometimes I've had to jump through like a lot of hoops to get somebody to get certain people, certain bigger people. Favorite region of actors, probably California. Most of the dubs I grew up with were series that were dubbed in California and Canada. Yeah, you're not the first person who suggested William or Simon. I can see. I mean, I know William's still active on social media, I think, but he's really old now, so I don't know if he would still do press. Maybe. I favorite interview, I can't really pick a single one. I mean, Bridget Hoffman is one of my favorites. Doug Erholtz was really fun. Um, Kyle McCarley, I loved how my interview with him went, even though I deleted the fucking video file on accident afterward. So it's just audio only. I don't know. There's been a lot. I can't really pick one, but those are like three examples. Amberly Connors was fun. Um, Tara Platt and Yuri, even though they were pretty short. Uh, yeah, I know Dean Wayne. Um, yeah, he'd be cool to interview just solely from because of Ninja Scroll. And he still does voice acting here and there, but he doesn't have any online presence. Gnarly, yeah. Kirk, yeah, Kirk's email was given to me by another person I interviewed. It took a really long time to get something set up with Kirk. Um, Michael, I found his email. It's public information, so but um, interviewing Michael uh, took a while to set up too. Yeah, Dean did come back, which was cool because I mean, I think a lot of people didn't know he was still doing voice acting. Yeah, there's been a few cases where, you know, I got emails from other people. I didn't go to conventional college. I took voice acting classes where I am locally here in Minneapolis, and I didn't try to pursue it further. What's the interview I've spent the most time editing? Uh, hmm, I don't know. I don't know if there's like a single answer for that because it also depends on like it also depends on how many times the person stammers or says filler words between answers. Um, yeah, the people who say like if they say like or just random words between answers or there's just long pauses between answers that takes the longest to edit. Fortunately, um, fortunately, several people seem to be consciously aware of not talking like that in interviews, but yeah, sometimes it gets really frustrating to, especially if it's not a very long interview, and you have to go through and cut a shitload of random filler words out. That tends to be more of the case interviewing people who are closer to my age. Uh, but some of them are really, obviously some of them are really composed and put together. Like doing Major Dotson the other day, he's only 18 and I was pleasantly surprised at how composed and articulate and um, pleasant and he was in comparison to other people I've done. No, I've done more Canadian actors than that. I've done Kiara Zani, who was Hamtaro, Michael Adamthwaite, Matt Hill, um, and I've done more. Ellen Kennedy. Um, I've done more. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't done very many Canadian voice actors in contrast to L.A. or New York or Texas, but um, yeah, I've done a handful of them, and yeah, a lot of them don't have social media presences, or the only way to contact them is through their agent, which usually doesn't work out. Like Richard Ian Cox, or Ted Cole, um, Kathleen Barr, people like that. I do have a relatively big Canadian voice actress interview who has never done one before uh, on the 11th of May, though. So that'll be fun. It's been in the works for like a month. Oh, yeah, and then I did Nicole Oliver. Yeah, that was relatively recently, too. So yeah, I've done a good handful of Canadian voice actors. Caitlin Medrick and Brendan Hunter too. They're from Calgary. And then I've done Linda Valentine, Katie Griffin, and Susan Roman from the original Sailor Moon dub, and Barbara Brodecki, who was Neptune, and then Stephen Bednarski and Rob Tingler, who were villains in the original like big villains in the original Sailor Moon dub. Yeah, so I've done I guess I've done more Canadian voice actors than I even remembered. I should make a playlist just for Canadian voice actors because they seem to have their like own special fan base specifically, which is nice. Oh yeah, and Lenore too. Yeah, Lenore's yeah. Even though she did all of her anime and when she lived in LA. Favorite anime that's never been dubbed. Probably Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. 5 weeks from now. um 5 weeks from now, that'll be like early June. I don't know. Hopefully I'll get more larger names by that point. Plans for the summer? I don't really have anything specific. Not yet, anyway. Hey, favorite dubbing studio? Mm, Bang Zoom, Ocean, uh, Magnitude 8, Studiopolis. Um, I no, I've seen him do independent interviews with people who are like around my age. Not very often. I don't know if the Yahoo email that's out there for him is still accurate. I don't think it is. I don't think it'd be very smart of him specifically to have like a public information email address, considering people are really gross towards him about Sonic for no reason. Honestly, in terms of Sonic voice actors, I would have the biggest interest in doing I'm spacing on his name, but the guy that from Texas that did the Sonic OVAs. Because he's a theater actor and he's still working. He just doesn't do voiceover anymore. I'm not remembering who that name is without looking it up. Yeah, Martin Burke. Most interesting depends what you mean by that, but I mean Tabitha St. Germain was pretty interesting and funny. I would say her, yeah, because I didn't expect her at all to have a list of questions to ask me in case she didn't remember something I was asking her about. That was yeah, that was really funny. How do I decide which actor to talk to? I don't know. I just I don't know. It just stems from like looking at cast lists for certain anime or certain games, and then I just go through, and if it's someone that I haven't talked to yet or something like that, then I just try reaching out if they have any kind of, excuse me, public info. Bands. I don't really listen to modern music. Um, I listen to a lot of 80s, 70s, 90s. Hi, Bio Phoenix. No, that's a good question. How do I compose an email invite for interviews? Uh, Starts out where I just say hi, insert name here. My name is Chris. I'm 24 from Minnesota. Uh, if it's correlated to a certain subreddit, then I say that I link that first. But generally, I just say, would you be open to doing a virtual interview? And then I say, since July 2020, I've done over 200 interviews with music and music and film industry people, and then I list some names and I link my playlist or certain links to certain people I've done, and then I just say I would love the opportunity if you're open to it. Hit send, and that's it. That's usually how all of them go. That's like my template. Thanks, Glep. Yeah, the only post 2000s album I own, I think, is Maroon 5's first Songs About Jane. That's it. But I mean, I really like some stuff by Billie Eilish and a few other modern people. But overall, no, I don't. I don't listen to modern music. Yeah, I guess it worked out that the interview I was supposed to do at 3 got pushed back to tonight because now I don't have to wrap this up really quickly or anything. Yeah, I was and am still a big fan of Michael Lindsay. We were friends on Facebook for a long time, and he said happy birthday to me uh, like every year up until he died. I would have loved to interview Michael Lindsay. Um, Kirby Morrow would have been great too. Um, can't really. Oh, Philly Sampler, of course. I was trying to get in touch with her up until she'd passed, and I'm sure that she would have done an interview, but yeah, it's too bad. All three of them are super underrated. Oh, Maddie Blaustein, yeah, yeah, because she was ahead of her time in terms of really amazing, talented trans or non-binary voice actors. Speaking of that, I would love Casey Mangelo, but they don't do. I've directly interacted with them a few times, but yeah, they don't do interviews because they don't hold themselves in very high regard, unfortunately, which is sad because Casey is like one of the most talented voice actors working in anime today. Yeah, yeah. Kirby passed away from alcohol addiction, I think. I was friends with him on Facebook too, and he also said happy birthday and stuff. But I never interacted with him or Michael Lindsay beyond that, unfortunately. Now I really wish I would have, looking back on it. But that's, I don't know, that's kind of pretty common with people, I guess. It's like you don't realize it until you're still late, or until it's too late. Maddie, yeah. Yeah. She was very diverse. Yeah. Yeah, and every Canadian, every Canadian actor I've interviewed, they all had that where I brought Kirby up. They all had stories about Kirby. So I forgot to bring him up with Saffron Henderson. Um, but yeah, every almost every other voice actor from Canada I've done based in Vancouver, I asked if they had any Kirby tribute stories. I know for a while people were kind of complaining that I wasn't doing more Funimation voice actors, and it's like I don't know. I don't really know what to say. Yeah, French Tickner. I know him. Like the first thing I think of with his name is like random characters in Ranma. Hi, Andrew. You're a new name, I think. I think there's people in here that there's people that have said hi so far that I've never seen before. So, oh, thanks. Yeah, yeah. I had to. I wanted to get. I was really specific in what I wanted to get done. Um, that was my profile picture was done by Jun Yoon. They're a really well-known Genshin Impact fan artist. Holy shit! Who mentioned you? I can't believe you haven't commented on my stuff yet or anything. Or if you have, sorry, and I just didn't see it. But that's wild. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the Funimation voice actors that still live in Texas. Yeah, I mean they're just doing like nonstop convention appearances. Yeah, that's one of the most insecure things is that like sometimes my hair looks like total shit to me in interviews, and sometimes I really like how it looks. It's okay today, I guess. I have to get it cleaned up again. I don't even know any of those three names offhand. Yeah, I'm sure I would know them, but I don't recognize those names at all. Eric Vale was my primary wish list person in terms of Texas actors to interview, so I'm glad that it was early on. Oh, thanks, thanks, Asher. And I was glad that setting something up with Austin Tyndall worked out too, because he's really funny, and he doesn't normally do interviews because he's literally doing conventions like every weekend of the year. It seems like. I've contacted Dan and have never heard anything. I'm sure if Dan saw my stuff, he would he would agree. You know, I've done a bunch of his friends, but yeah, I've never gotten a response from him. I think he's apparently retired, but hopefully he'll yeah, I just recently talked to Wally, but you have to like submit a form and then send it back to him, and his team looks over it. Erica Luttrell, no. How did I get so many in a short time span? I don't know. I just like the main way I was like making money from during the pandemic heyday was all remote. So I was mostly like my availability just was really open. So that helped a lot. I don't know. I have more interest in Sean over Chris because of Sean's like New York dub period. Because a lot of those roles he doesn't talk about or hasn't talked about. I don't know though. Maybe someday. Chris doesn't. I mean, neither of them really do independent interviews very much either, but they have before, and like not very long ago either. So yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it will happen sometime, maybe in the future. Yeah, yeah, like the woman who was Sharon. I don't I think her name is Sharon, who was Anthe in Revolutionary Girl Utna. She does makeup now. Sharon Becker, I think, is her name. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I still have people on my wish list, but I've already done a lot of them, which is amazing. Uh, Inspired me. I don't know. I guess Richard Cancino and Lex Lang, because I love Kenshin and I love Nightwalker. Both of those series. Mari Devon. Um, mm, Crispin Freeman, I guess. Yeah. Melissa Fawn. Oh, good. Somebody else knows what Nightwalker is. Yeah. Yeah, I wish more people knew about that show. I don't even think it was very popular in Japan for some reason. I don't think it came out at a very good time for horror anime though. Like 1998, 1999. Brittany Latta. I'm guessing that's what you meant. Yeah, she doesn't. I've emailed her once. Didn't get a response. I know she's busy as fuck though. Her and Matt Shipman. But yeah, she's really good. Because I know people I've interviewed who have said that yeah, she cast me in her project and she doesn't even respond to me. So oh, good, yeah. Yeah, it's because yeah, Nightwalker started out as a PC eroge game, and then in the late '90s it became an anime. And it got dubbed here like immediately after it came out in Japan. Yeah, I don't think Rachel does independent interviews either. Hi, Kale. Because I've also emailed Rachel and I've never heard anything. Yeah, I would love to interview Melissa Fun. Oh, Lauren Landa. Yeah, I haven't tried reaching out to her yet. I like her the most for Neptune. Thanks. Really appreciate it. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, Melissa is on my wish list. I virtually met her via GalaxyCon before I did interviews too. But yeah, she doesn't really do independent interviews. Because after I interviewed Tom Fawn, um, he forwarded my stuff to her, and I never heard anything from her. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool that I'm gonna be an angel specifically helped you with that because that's another series that a lot of people don't know about, and it's good. It's a shame that it like never got finished in the U.S. here, but yeah, really beautiful animation on that. Yeah, when that incident happened with me, I was watching the Ranma OVAs, Fushigi Yugi, Gatekeepers, Ghost Stories. You know, that's pretty ironic since the first Shadow Hearts game is like really gruesome. Yeah, hopefully I'll get to interview Jeremy pretty soon. Because she gave me her somebody else that I had interviewed linked me with her. But I'm still waiting to hear back from her on setting up something. Because she's like insanely busy too. But Jeremy Lee is probably one of the nicest people in VO. Yeah, I would love to interview Mike. You know, if you've been watching my stuff for a while, you would know that people talk about Mike a lot. um, I've emailed him, never heard anything. He's never done an independent interview either, like or even like any sort of really in-depth interview. So maybe he doesn't like doing them. I don't know. Again, I could probably try asking someone I've already interviewed. Um, Someone who's like really close to him, like Kevin Collins. Yeah, yeah, I get it. Um, the Fushigi Yugi OVAs are fine. They're not great. Yeah, I would love to interview Patrick Seitz. Again, he's busier than shit too. Um, we had direct contact once, but I because the like public email for him that's out there isn't accurate anymore. But he still has like some kind of connection to it. So hold on. I've only been to one convention when I was like 12, but I met Kyle Aber. I didn't even mention that when I interviewed him, which I don't know why I didn't, but yeah, Chris Yates would be cool. I love Kare Kano. Yeah, you've met a lot of people. Fushigi, I don't know. I mean, Fushigi Yugi was the main thing that helped me get over that incident when that happened. I guess it was just all the different characters being really strong and not knowing how to deal with certain things and not being very old either, obviously. And just seeing that really helps to inspire somebody. Yeah, Erin Fitzgerald was obviously one of my like early guests too. She's really cool, really funny. One of the few Vancouver-based voice actors that primarily did anime that moved to LA. Her and David Kay, David Sobolov, and Jillian Michaels. Oh, that is interesting if that's true. People have always wondered who Christopher Courage was. So that'd be really cool if that's accurate. Have I interviewed voice actors? Yeah, I have. I just don't think I've done anybody who like predominantly works in Western animation. Well, I guess Matt. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've done people who have done a lot of Western animation too. Just nobody who primarily does that and doesn't do anime or anime games in some capacity. Oh, thanks. That's so old. Okay, bye. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I still sing. My favorite dub performance. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of good people in Monster. Tara Platt doing Ava's craziest shit in Monster. That's pretty amazing. Again, I can't pick a single favorite. There's a lot. Did you ever think how your platform could influence the anime community? Uh, yeah, I mean, lately, I guess I have been. Um, I'm happy to help inspire people to try and do what I'm doing, as long as you're appropriate with it. Oh, thanks, Ultimate. Kyle's was not the best, uh, but yeah, I mean, since that was back before I had proper equipment, and I did that at a friend's house out of town. But thanks, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people who were in Urotsukidoji don't wouldn't want to talk about it, especially if they have actual big careers nowadays. Yeah, I would love to have Liam, but unfortunately, nobody who is part of Critical Role does independent press. So I think Matt Mercer still does independent press here and there. Surprisingly, since he's like you know the leader of all that, but none of I don't think yeah from what I've been told, none of the other big players in Critical Role that I've tried to reach out to they don't do independent press anymore. I mean, a lot of them don't even do anime anymore. They don't want to do non-union stuff either. That's why most of them, besides Marisha and Matt, and I think Taliesin Jaffe is still in Fire Emblem too. But yeah, that's why like Laura, Travis, and Liam all left Fire Emblem Heroes because Fire Emblem Heroes isn't union. If anyone here is a fan of the Fire Emblem interviews I do specifically, Critical Role, yeah, the Trails of Cold Steel games. Um, it's Taliesin Jaffe, Matthew Mercer, Marisha Ray, Ashley Johnson, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, uh, Liam O'Brien, and I think Robbie Damon is kind of like a main member now, but he still does anime on a regular basis. I know who Tony is, but yeah, no, I haven't reached out, thought to reach out to him. Zero Escape. Yeah. Yeah, everybody, I mean everyone who does Critical Role is a super talented voice actor. But Laura and Travis especially, it's a shame that they don't do anime anymore. I think the last thing Laura did was Glitter Force. And that, I mean, she was amazing in that. There was more there were some moments of higher octane acting in that than you would have expected for like a children's anime. There's also a few people who have agreed to do an interview, but then I never heard anything back from them after that. But fortunately, it's nobody who's like huge. Oh yeah, Sam Regal. I forgot. Yeah, I don't know who either of those people are offhand. J. David Brimmer and John Abner. Yeah. One big Funimation actor I'd like to do is David Matranga, since he's been around longer than I think most people realize. A lot of modern anime fans just like only recognize him as Shoto in My Hero Academia. They don't realize he's been around since like the early 2000s. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think one of the only other original Berserk cast members I've reached out to was the guy who played Judo, and he's a real estate agent now. So wouldn't surprise me if he just looks back on all that as in the same manner that Andrew Rannells looks back on it. Yeah, same. That's what I remember him a lot for. That and Orphan, which he got to come back for. But he was the only original cast member that got to come back, which I don't really understand why. Because Hilary Haig and Spike Spencer, they still obviously they still work. Yeah, yeah. David is underrated from the sense that more people need to know about his older stuff. Same thing with Jason Lee Brecht, because he's been around for almost as long too. I didn't really collab with Ray Chase. I just helped set up an AMA with him. Like I have his email and stuff. Um, I don't know. I mean, do you mean like if you mean collab with people in the sense of just doing setting up an AMA or whatever with them, but they don't do interviews? Um, yeah, I mean Erica Harlicker, because she told me that she doesn't do independent interviews anymore unless they're in person at conventions after too many scary experiences that she's had, unfortunately. Yeah, I did watch G Gundam a little bit when it was, I think it was on TV here. I like Gundam Wing the most, but I've never really been into anything Gundam a whole lot. But I do like Gundam Wing. Really good cast too. Yeah, Chris Ayres. Oh, okay. Yeah, then if he was the only one who was brought back in Japanese and everybody else was new, then that makes sense. It was great. Yeah, if you guys can just look up, you can Google search the Demon Slayer subreddit AMA with Ray. It went fantastic. Got really viral. Um, he was late. He was like an hour late to it, but then he ended up to make up for it. He ended up answering questions for like the rest of the day. There wasn't any time limit on it, so and he was really funny. Like a lot of his answers were hilarious. I've interviewed his. I don't know if many of you guys realize. I interviewed his wife, Julia McIlvaine, and that was her first on camera interview. I'm sure you guys like saw the interview, but I don't think a lot of people realize that she's married to Ray. And she was great. Really nice. Hey, Steven. What time is it? I can probably go for like another hour. It feels really good, you know, especially if it's people that I grew up with. Depending on who it is, I still feel, it's still surreal sometimes. But with interviews in general at this point, I don't know. I just kind of let my brain fall out, and I just have a process that I don't even think about. Yeah, I've um Dave, there's no contact info with anymore. I've emailed Kim, but didn't hear anything back. Yeah, David Hayter I like for Tamahome in Fushigi Yugi. He was the male lead in Fushigi Yugi. And he's done independent interviews too, but I don't really know how. I mean, it's probably from people reaching out to him on Twitter, which I don't really like doing because everybody can see it. And then I think a lot of it's based on how many followers your account has. People look at that first and they don't bother to look at anything else. Because I don't really actively use Twitter, and I only made one like in fall of last year. So I also really only made Twitter because um, most of the modern generation of voice actors predominantly use Twitter as their primary social media. So if I'm tagging people in interview posts, I know it's going to be the best chance of getting reposted or whatever from the actor on Twitter. I got a lot of traction. It was really nice that Allegra Clark, my interview with her, she posted it completely on her own, and that got me a lot of attention. And she's amazing. She's really funny, really talented. And it was before I was on Twitter, back when I interviewed Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt. They both immediately shared my interviews with them when they were up, and Tara reposted it twice, which was like, oh my god, you guys are angelic. Other favorite roles of Bridget, oh, or just in general, Miyaka and Fushigi Yugi, Ryoko Asakura in The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Atali in the Dot Hack GU games, Cosmos in the Xenosaga games, Chitose and Chobits, uh, Rem in Trigun. I don't know. Bridget's done a lot. Fu and Ray Earth. Yeah, interviewing people that are closer to my age or even younger. It's those tend to be the most chill interviews, the most casual interviews. You know, AJ and Jonah Scott, Amber Lee Connors, um, Kieran Reagan. I know that's super funny that Bridget was the Evil Dead poster girl. You wouldn't expect that at all. Not even just because of the anime stuff, but just because she's, I mean, you wouldn't really expect her to work in horror because she's just like one of the nicest people in acting, like in the whole acting industry and voiceover industry. It's but she mostly does she talks about it in our interview, but uh she mostly does ADR for major film and television now. The most difficult person to get a hold of or to set something up with. I let's see. Not so much difficult. I mean, it's not. It's never really with voice actors. It's never really difficult. You just because most of the time you're directly interacting with them. There's no third party person involved. It did take a really long time before I finally had something set with Kirk Thornton, like I mentioned earlier, and Veronica Taylor. Those took months. With Veronica because she does nonstop conventions, and Kirk is just really busy with directing and doing all kinds of stuff in VO. But outside of voice actors, the most involved one to get was probably my most famous guest I've had so far, which was Leah Thompson. That was really involved, and it took like a year to finally get done. But it helped because her and I directly interacted through Cameo messages, and she agreed to do the interview like directly. So that was the biggest key thing. But I still had to, even with that, I had to call her manager a lot and manager's assistant, and just be persistent but polite. That's the most important thing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, fortunately, Saffron just decided out of the blue now to, I'm gonna I'm gonna start being on social media and make new social media accounts and go to cons. And fortunately, she decided to do that now. Hopefully somebody like Janice Kawai will do that too before she gets too old. Because I mean, she obviously still has a enormous fan base, more so than even Saffron. Yeah, Brian would be really cool. Um, I'm sure he would do it if he saw, the other ones I've done and him being friends with the Epcars. I don't know how he views his anime work now. Um, you guys might know better than I do, but yeah, he seems like he'd have he seems like he would have a good sense of humor about it. It's not like he was bad in a lot of stuff he was in either. Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's not the best anime, so that makes sense. Yep, would love to interview Mari Devon, especially. I already got my answer on that, so can't do anything about it. I don't know if any of them are in the chat or watching this right now, but there's several of you guys that you know, ask for really big names that I haven't yet done on my channel. And 95% of the time it's already somebody that I've reached out to or I'm currently talking to or I have never heard an answer from. So, yeah, if there's like a really big anime person that you haven't seen on my channel yet, um, I've most likely tried them or have been told that they don't do independent interviews or have never gotten a response. Edward Bosco, yeah, I've never heard anything from him though. Hey, Ted, I didn't know you were subscribed to me. Thanks. Yeah, you guys should go watch my interview with Ted Soroka, especially if you like Fire Emblem. Yeah, you too. Thanks. Yeah, see, I can't always see who's subscribed to me, so it's surprises like that that pleasantly throw me off sometimes. Yeah, Johnny, I've tried maybe sometime in the future. Again, he does nonstop cons. His younger brother just died. Uh, I don't know. If it does happen with Johnny, I'm sure it won't be for a while. I I mean, I guess I can save this and upload it. Yeah. I wasn't necessarily planning on it, but yeah, I guess it's fine. Because it's not like this is the only one that I'm going to do, but I guess since it's the first one I've done, yeah, I can do it. Yeah. Yeah, the boy voices question is always fun because I still get surprised at what some people say and the techniques that they use. Because Reba Burr, um, most recently, she said that she tries. It's almost like she's holding a ball in her mouth, and on top of pitching her voice down, when she does boy voices. Yeah, yeah. Johnny's younger brother passed away relatively recently. Another really sad situation with Billy Kometz. If you guys don't know about that, he announced that he got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, and he's moving out of LA and moving back with his parents in Pennsylvania. So hopefully he'll make it. Fortunately, he's already raised $100,000 on on a GoFundMe that his publicist created like 2 days ago. So because I know that him and Erica Lindbeck were dating and living together too, I think. Yeah, it's really bizarre too, because I mean, thank God it's not terminal, but it's crazy for someone that young to get that high a level of a cancer diagnosis. 'Cause he's only 35 or 34 or 35. Yep. I think it'll turn out though. I think he'll be okay. You guys can ask more stuff. There's already been some surprising questions. Yeah. Yeah, at least from what everyone can see. I mean, he's really staying positive. Yeah. Yeah, Chris Kaysen would be fun. He only has social media though. He doesn't have any kind of a website, weirdly, considering he's been doing this for a while and you know, he's he directs a lot too now. Yep. many live action actors that are fans of anime. Yeah, there's a lot. Offhand, I know Robin Williams was a really big fan. Um, Megan Fox. There's a lot. I don't remember a lot of them offhand. Yeah, Bryce would be. Yeah, I probably have a better chance of getting Bryce's mom than I would actually Bryce. Ellie, well, I could get his mom and then I could probably get him after that. Because, yeah, Bryce started, you know, Bryce was young, young Vash in Trigun. That was like his first character part, and he was a kid. And then he was the lead in Dot Hack Legend of Twilight, which I'm sure nobody ever talks to him about anymore. Yeah. Hi, Hyde Keto. Yeah, sometimes that doesn't always work though. You know, if I've interviewed someone's sibling who's also a voice actor or their husband or wife, most of the time it's worked out. Um, but it doesn't always work, like with Julia and Ray or um, Rachel Robinson and Christopher Bevins. I messaged Christopher Bevins like twice after that and he never got back to me. Just depends on some people, yeah. But yeah, Yuri, I mean, obviously, you know, after I interviewed Yuri Lowenthal, I did Terra the following week. Somebody else brought up Peter Doyle. Yeah. I think I would have to like ask someone's help for that because he's not on. I mean, I think he's on Facebook. Oh, thanks. Oh yeah, that's right. I think I remember who you are now. Yeah, I liked my interview with Mark Hildreth, even though that was back when I didn't have an external webcam or microphone, or I didn't really have like a totally nailed down format of questions yet. But yeah, he was really cool to talk to, and he's really attractive too. If you guys don't know who Mark Hildreth is, he was Hero in Gundam Wing, and he was also in Inuyasha and Please Save My Earth and some other ocean dubbed stuff, but predominantly Gundam Wing. Yeah, my interview with Michelle Rojas was fun too. She's really talented, underrated. Even well, I mean, she's already done a lot of major stuff in anime for only being like 35, 34, and being in it for less than 10 years. Hmm. Yeah, I think it was the voice actor that did the whoever the Japanese or Chinese guy on the Gundam Wing team was. I think that's yeah, but yeah, one of them doesn't. One of them became a doctor. Tiffany, I'm currently talking to. Brad, Brad, I've been in contact with since like fall of last year. It'll happen eventually. Um, he just has a lot going on because he doesn't do voiceover as his predominant job anymore. I'm not sure if he ever did. And he also has like a 5 month old. So, but yeah, me and Brad Swale have been in contact a lot in the past year. And Tiffany, I'll be interviewing soon. If you guys, outside of Fire Emblem, if you guys like Soul Calibur and the Metal Gear Solid games, you guys will like the person I'm doing tonight. She hasn't done too many interviews either. Good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there are some people that I don't know if they'll show up or not, but some people that commented before when I was supposed to go live the other day before I realized that you have to wait 24 hours. Okay, Asher. Yeah, thanks. And thanks for all your comments and being such a one of the most active people, my subscribers so far. Sure, I'll see you soon. Yeah, I'll probably get going like I don't know, pretty soon. Depends how things go. I think it's cool, especially since his wife Marin is a relatively big name. It'd be cool to see him make a career in VO. Because Marin mentioned in our interview that he's auditioned for some of the same stuff that um, they've auditioned for. So he's getting the opportunity, apparently. Do you guys know if the okay, yeah. Do you guys know if The English voice actor for Doma and Demon Slayer has been announced. Since today is supposed to be the final episode of the Entertainment District arc dub. I'm sure it'll, if it's not revealed yet, I'm sure it'll be announced like sometime today. Because I wasn't necessarily expecting Brandon McInnes to voice Gyutaro, but he did a great job. Yeah, same. Because it has, to me anyway, Demon Slayer has 90s anime vibes. And Akira Matsushima, who is the lead character designer of the Demon Slayer anime adaptation, um, he was one of the best, like highest quality episodic character designers to work on Rurouni Kenshin way back in the day. Hi, John. I'm doing fine. Already went through having COVID Halloween of 2020, and it didn't really affect me that much. Fortunately, fully vaccinated. All good. Hopefully, you guys have been, anybody who's here, hopefully, you guys have all been fine too. Yes, I know that Funimation merged with Crunchyroll. Yes. Yeah, I like Shamanic Princess. It's really beautiful, animation quality wise. Cool story. Cool early role dub cast. Most underrated dub, probably Nightwalker. Yeah. Am I enjoying talking to the English? Yeah. It's great. It's still surreal sometimes, depending on who I'm talking to. Yeah, and some, I mean, people in Texas are going back in person to record now, but, and people in LA are too, but a lot of it's still remote, especially in LA. A lot of people were recording remotely even before the pandemic. If you have a home studio and you have Source Connect, it's like you don't have to go anywhere. In particular, all the Fire Emblem sessions are remote. Fire Emblem Heroes, obviously, since people that are all across the U.S. are being cast in it now. Okay, BioPhoenix. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all your comments and questions and stuff. Not a whole lot. Thank you. Mostly just been watching season 2 of Call Me Can't Communicate, which is coming out weekly right now. Watched all of the latest Demon Slayer season. I should have I should have brought one of my portfolios out so I can show you guys some of the production art that I have from Sailor Moon and Kenshin and Oran High School Host Club. And I don't like One Piece, so I don't watch One Piece. I would still recommend reading the manga, unless you, I mean, the manga's been finished for a little while now, unless you just want to wait. It won't take too long before it's fully animated at the pace that they're moving. Yep, there's a lot of good performances in One Piece. I've just never been I've never liked One Piece. I don't like the animation style at all. If I could be in any recent anime, I don't know. I guess Comey because that's, still real life and a lot of those characters are really funny. Really funny archetypes. Cagey. I did watch Talentless Nana. That was really good, and the dub was super well done. I haven't been consistently watching Attack on Titan, but yeah, like I know what happens. And again, that's another example of the dub, especially nowadays. The dub is really well done. All the anime that I would recommend to anybody is stuff that is old. So if you guys don't mind that, um, yeah, I can recommend stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, Kakegurui was fine. No, a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people think Kakegurui is terrible, but I don't really see why. It's not like it's that bad. Yeah, 25th anniversary of Toonami. It's crazy to think about. Yeah, I would recommend Yu Yu Hakusho for sure. I used to own a lot of really nice cells and production art of Kurama. I don't know why I got rid of it because he's one of my favorite characters. Period. Yeah, yeah. The crazy psychological horror stuff in Kakegurui is great. Can I announce who I'm interviewing? I mean, I gave it away earlier. Um, it's at it's actually at 8 my time. Um, But yeah, it's a voice actress from Soul Calibur, Metal Gear Solid, and Fire Emblem. Oh, cool. Yeah, Frank Tadaro is a he was super nice, super super cool to talk to. Yeah, Nana is really good. Still holds up too. Really good dub cast. Not crazy about the animation style of Nana either, but um, everything else is really good. Everything else about it. I definitely won't forget you guys. I'm still a long ways away from blowing up. Have I thought about getting into voice acting? Yeah, I don't know. This kind of happened and it's more of a focus now. Thanks, John. Yeah, I was glad that AJ was my 200th. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get I there's more Canadian voice actors on my wish list. They're just harder to get a hold of. You just finished what did you finish, Christopher? Oh, Nana. Yeah, I would read Nana. David Reel or Daniel DeSanto, not offhand. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I am going to an anime convention here next weekend, and 5 people I've interviewed will be there. So that might be my first, you know, celebrity recognition experience for myself. Yeah, I don't know why they keep breaking up the final season in like multiple parts, but whatever they have to do, I guess. Yep. Yeah, JJK is really good, obviously. Even though it's mainstream now, it's a genuinely good series. I don't watch Doctor Stone. Yeah, well, fortunately, Brigida, she's still really active on social media, even though she hasn't acted since, you know, the mid 2000s. Yeah, Sarah Strange didn't want to keep doing voiceover. Miriam Sarwa became a flight attendant. Don't know what happened to Angela. I do actively read My Hero. and keep up with that. Spy Family, yeah, I think it's worth the hype. It was a nice surprise too that it got a Texas-based cast. I thought it was going to be people in LA, and it was nice that Alex Organ is the male lead because he hadn't done anime for a little while. It's too bad that he's not on social media at all either. Right. Yeah, he was Aizawa before Chris Waycamp. And Chris is good. He's really good in the role. I don't anymore. I still have my PS2, but I primarily, whenever I do use it, it's mostly as a DVD player. Yes, I know about Brad Venable. He was also underrated for what he had done in voice acting up until he passed. But yeah, the only games that I still have are Tales of the Abyss and Samurai Warriors 1. Oh yeah, more of the Reddit talks. I don't know. I mean, I can try asking other people. It's just I would prefer to like normally privately interview them myself. Yeah, I know about Chris Ayres. He was great too. I mean, I liked him the most for Peacemaker Kurogane, which is a Shinsengumi feudal Japan based show that ADV dubbed in the early mid 2000s. It's sort of like Rurouni Kenshin, but unfortunately didn't really get much traction. Been rude. Um, yeah, we talked about Kirby earlier in this live. Um, I don't know. I mean, the only like remotely negative experience I've had in that aspect was a rather a rather big LA name. Uh, I was supposed to interview him, and we had it all planned and everything, and then it got canceled because we were supposed to do it the weekend. Chris Ayres ended up dying like the day before we were supposed to do it, and this voice actor and Chris were really good friends. And then we didn't talk for a while after that, and then I messaged them again, and then this voice actor, he told me that he would still do the interview, but I would have to pay him $70 if I still wanted to do it. So I just I didn't get into it with him or anything. Uh, but that's the only negative experience I've had. I just thought that was shitty to do. And kind of condescending too. Yeah, I mean they weren't like nasty about it, and they but it was just I didn't necessarily expect that, and I didn't think it was cool of them to do, obviously. And there's been a couple other big Texas-based male voice actors that said that they only do paid interviews, and they were all polite and everything. But yeah, it's I'm not doing that. I'm not paying for any interview. And as I've said already earlier, if you guys want to try and pursue interviews, getting interviews with voice actors, don't don't pay for them. You don't have to do that. Yeah, we talked about Billy's situation earlier. Probably wrap things up pretty quickly here, or pretty soon, since it's a little over 2 hours. I'm not sure who all is still here, but I'm glad that you guys have been consistent with engagement. Yeah, I definitely will. I'll definitely do this more often. Well, I mean, charging conventions is another thing. Um, because especially for Texas-based voice actors that really only do anime, going to cons is how they make money. Um, that's how they make the most money. Thanks, Ralph. Yeah, I will. I'm not leaving quite yet, but I'll stick around for a little bit longer. Maybe until like 3:30. Would I ever want to be a guest at a con? uh, I would like to like host a panel, not about this, but about animation cells and production art for anime. Yeah, Wyndham, I've seen you comment stuff. I remembered who you are. Yeah, I don't think it seems doesn't seem too long ago to me, but it's weird to think about and look back on. If anybody in here hasn't gone all the way back on my interviews, the first voice actor I did was Katie Griffin, who was Sailor Mars in the original Sailor Moon dub. Then Wendy Lee was after that. Then it was Aaron. Then it was Steve Staley, and then it was Aaron Fitzgerald. And um, I've also done actors that predominantly do live action as well, and several music industry people. I still have interest in that, but of course, it's predominantly with voice actors now. Yeah, I am glad that I interviewed Colleen O'Shaughnessy when I did, because now she's um, blowing up because of Sonic 2. Yeah, Sammy, thanks for always commenting on my stuff on a regular basis, and thanks for stopping by here. I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon. And thanks to you too, John. Oh, you mean yeah. Yeah, that's what I always do when I start interviews. Is I say thanks for the person. Thanks for willing to do this. Black Clover, no. I know like characters and whatever. General tips for networking online. I think it's pretty similar to what a lot of people would tell you. Just always be polite and try not to. Yeah, always be polite and make sure you're really patient, even though it's difficult sometimes. I'm extremely impatient. It doesn't seem like that. um, yeah, I would just say always be polite and always be patient, even if it's difficult sometimes. Who got me into anime? No one got me into anime. It just started from like how I think a lot of it started with a lot of people who are around my age. Started with Pokemon, which you don't really realize is anime, and then yeah, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, anything that was on Toonami in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm 24, so I grew up with all that stuff. Yeah, definitely not taking things personally is important too. Even back when I started doing this, I never took it personally, you know. I think most people in the anime VO industry especially are all genuinely nice people for the most part. You know, if they don't respond to you or if you're talking to them on a platform where you can see that they're seeing your messages and not responding, you just have to move on. Favorite anime from Funimation, Fruits Basket and Oran High School Host Club and Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah. I can watch Fruits Basket and Oron a million times over and never get sick of it. Same thing with Ranma One Half and certain parts of Sailor Moon. I like both versions of Fruits Basket. Obviously, the 2019 one covers everything and has much better animation, but I don't know. It's probably like a nostalgia bias, but I kind of prefer the 2001 version. And I like that the 2001 version. I have production art from the 2001 version, so I like that you can. I like that you were able to collect production art from it, and they still hand painted all those backgrounds. If I plan on asking more personal things, depends on the person. I mean, me and Tabitha Saint Germain talked about a good amount of non-career stuff, but it wasn't obviously you can't cross into anything that's weird or inappropriate. And there's been several times where I talk to people off camera, um, before or after the interview is done being recorded on Zoom, where I talk to them for I don't know, like a half hour or something. Favorite character from Fruits Basket? Probably Hatsuharu and Yuki and Hiro, but predominantly Hatsuharu. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Uh, do the actors care if you told them? Normally, I don't say. At least not anymore. I don't say, "Hey, I like this role that you did under a fake name." I don't say that anymore. I just say, "Hey, I like this role." I don't usually acknowledge if it's a fake name because they don't normally want that kept in the interview, especially if they're in SAG. Favorite Oron character? I like Honey a lot. It's hard to pick. I'm probably the most like Kyoya though. Hi Martin, thanks. Hello from Minnesota to Scotland. Yeah, next time I'll definitely have my production art stuff next to me. Kind of brings me back to reaches over the camera. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I kind of like the straightforward approach, and it's you know, fortunately, it's working. So yeah, yeah. I knew about Tony Pope even before interviewing Marcella. Yeah, 100th episode of My Hero Academia. Yeah, I also want to. I don't know how many people are still here, but um, if anybody that like wants to start doing this too, I can't give out emails that aren't public information. So I've had a lot of ever since I interviewed Bridget Hoffman, I've had a lot of people ask me if I can give out their contact, and I can't. So yeah, I can't give out anyone's contact that isn't public information. My favorite My Hero character, probably Dobby, Toya. Spoilers. I think everybody knows by now that Dobby is a Todoroki. It's not. I mean, even if you haven't gotten there in the manga yet, it's really obvious that he's the missing brother. Right. Yeah. And with, I mean, Bridget's email, I was given that by somebody else that I interviewed. Same thing with Kirk Thornton, um, and Richard Cancino. I was given that email too. Probably a few others I would have to look at. Um, but yeah. Oh, it's been really good, Martin. I'm gonna be. Uh, it's too bad you just popped in now because I've been doing it for going on 2.5 hours. I'm gonna be wrapping up pretty soon. Can't believe that my back isn't hurting more yet. Yeah, I saw that Richard Epcar's birthday was the other day. It was really fun to interview him and his wife. Yeah, Gennaro. We talked about Dan Green earlier. I would like to, just don't know how. I don't know how I would get a hold of him. I'd probably have to ask like Bill Timoney or something. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was and is my goal. If I can, try and get people who haven't done interviews or haven't done much of any or haven't done any in years. Oh no, it's no problem, Martin. I'll be doing this again, probably more often. Have I watched JoJo Stone? I've seen some of it. I watch more of Stone Ocean more than any other JoJo series. I'm not really into the JoJo that much. I don't like the animation style, but some of the performances are really amazing. Yeah, I knew that wasn't his I knew that wasn't Dan's real name. Well, yeah, I'll have to approach it from that aspect. Honestly, though, I would gladly interview Dan Green, but I would uh, really want to interview Mike Nicholas the most, and Mark Derison. Well, Mark isn't in New York anymore, and I don't think Michael is either. Yeah, Michael isn't in New York anymore, but Fire Force, yeah, I've seen some of it. I've interviewed. like 4 big cast members on it. Way more into Soul Eater in comparison. Well, I think everybody is if you compare both of them, but yeah, I know Natalie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a nice little interview with her. She's also really underrated. Trying to get the more obscure ADV people. It's hard because because most of those people don't. A lot of them don't do voice acting anymore. They aren't on social media. Some of them you don't even know where they went. Yeah, Steve Bloom, I've never gotten a response from yet. Really want to interview Crispin Freeman too. That's really high up there. Yep. Yeah, and the stuff that I like Steve the most for, I don't think he's really ever talked about, besides Kenshin. What am I up to? Well, it's 3 o'clock where I am, but I have an interview later tonight. Otherwise, that's it. It's shitty out where I am. Pretty basic Sunday. Didn't know Miriam Servaz. Yeah, I reached out to her through Ranma One Half's English English voice director, former English voice Toshifumi Yoshida, and he told he told me that through her, or she told me that through him. I mean, Kate Higgins, yeah, she's never gotten back to me. I still own a lot of different stuff. Not a lot. Um, Mostly I just watch anime on streaming. Yeah, I don't ever buy physical media anymore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you're right, Gennaro. Yeah, I've seen some of Sao. Yeah, yeah. Miriam was. I mean, she's one of my favorite voice actors. I mean, I she was so good in Azakane. And the other anime she had like central parts in. It's too bad that she like doesn't want to talk about it. Mainly as or just no. I haven't really tried reaching out to people that primarily just work as directors. Yeah, I'm friends with Venus Turzo on Facebook. She did other anime. Just obviously being the predominant voice of female Ranma was her main thing. But she was in Escaflowne, and Venus was also gonna be in Canada's dub of Ray Earth that didn't end up going anywhere. Yeah, somebody brought up Tony Salerno earlier, but I haven't reached out to him yet. Obviously, I've done lots of people who have directed, who direct a lot that act like just as actively voice. But I don't, yeah, I haven't done anybody who predominantly just works as a dub director yet. Yeah, I could try like, I don't know, Susie Goldish, Valerie Aram, Tony, Eric Sherman. Mm, a little bit. I didn't have success yet, obviously. A lot of Calgary dub people aren't really on the internet either. Or, well, their contacts aren't accurate anymore. Do I like the different voice actors of Frieza? Yeah. I mean they're all good. Oh, no, I'm not in school. And the main way of making money I was well, I still do it. Um I also work for a cell dealer and I get commission from sales that I help them with. I'm not sure about Eric. I mean, he still like directs on a regular basis. He just did Bubble, that new Netflix anime movie with Zach Aguilar and Emmy Lowe. 29. Does anybody that's still here want to ask any final stuff before I top off for this first live? Anything that I haven't already talked about or oh, whoops. Kyle Jones, no. No. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get going now. Thanks, Moronic. Yeah, I definitely will. Malik, you said you were you saying you had a question? Would I interview Vic? I don't know. Because I just don't want that. Uh, I don't want that people seeing that on my channel to potentially other people that I would want to interview. I don't want that to turn them off, and I think that might be a big factor. Kelly Madison, yeah, I would love to interview Kelly Madison. Can't get a hold of her. I don't know how to get a hold of her though. Did I watch the recent Digimon stuff? Yeah. Will I upload any of these? I probably should start putting them on a different format besides just YouTube. I haven't explored that further yet though. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, I'll now that I can go live and stuff normally now, I can not get people's hopes up and then not end up doing anything. Maybe I can do it again sometime next week. Thanks, Wyndham. And thanks for all your recent questions in the past like hour or so. Yeah, well, I think that's Assassination Classroom. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna head off now, and some a couple people mentioned wanting to save this live stream, so I guess I can keep it up on my channel. Uh, but yeah, thanks anyone who's still here. Thanks for being part of this. I didn't think it would get enough traction to go for 2.5 hours. It was a pleasant surprise. See ya.